welcome to my channel. I am so glad you're here. We are doing a mid-year book tag challenge. One of my favorite YouTubers, Larry, did this on her channel and I absolutely stole this idea from her and her questions, and I'll link her video below so you can go watch her video and see what she said. But I thought this would be so fun to take on this challenge and share with you what I've been doing for 2024, what my favorite books are, what my least favorite books are, what books I've been thinking about a lot, all of those fun things. I have rules. The rules for this challenge are I cannot repeat any books. So once I've used a book, it cannot be used again for any of the questions. And I have to give you my honest thoughts on everything that I share. These are my pure, honest, from my brain, out my mouth thoughts. There's very little filter. And if you know me, I am not very filtered anyways. So there you go. And remember that this is for fun. If you like something and I didn't like something, this is okay. If you love something and I didn't like it, that's okay too, because that's just how life is sometimes. And we can all have different thoughts and opinions and still be kind and loving to each other. And that's just cool. So all the questions will be linked below and you can go look at them. If you want to do this book talk challenge or book tag challenge, tag me in it because I want to see your thoughts too. So question number 1, the best book you've read this year. The best book you've read this year. Saint by Sierra Simone. Aiden and Elijah. Aiden and Elijah. This book wrecked me. You're going to see a pattern a little bit that Sierra Simone's writing. She's the freaking queen. She's the queen. You can talk to the wall right there, right there, right there. If you disagree with that, she's the queen. Her writing, she's my favorite author of all time, hands down. Stop. Complete sentence, stop. And I read this book. I read the Priest, Sinner, and Saint series by her this year for the first time, and this was my favorite of those books. This book totally, it has mental health representation. It's an story, and I'm gonna get teary-eyed just thinking about it. It was so good. It was so good. It is a second chance romance. It is a romance where some of the things that Aiden, the main character of this story, is going through, I've experienced in my own life, and his process through working through that was just so raw and real and emotional. And it literally, you can see where I have just this book. I cannot express too much how much I love this book. This book rocked my world, and I just don't even have words. It is a must read by Sierra Simone. The next one on my list was the best sequel. I'm gonna put it up right here, Honeycut. I just finished this book on audio. I have to order it. I was trying to go find it from Target because and it's sold out everywhere that I've looked. I've been to 3 different Targets and it is sold out. Again, it is written by Sierra Simone, and literally, I cannot stop thinking about this book. This book has wrecked my brain. The ending of this book, the next one is going to be called Bitter Burn, and it comes out in March of next year, and then March cannot get here fast enough. The ending of this book was just... the ending of this book, what the hell? What the fuck? What the hell? The ending of this book. Sierra Simone, if you're watching this, if you by some chance come across this tiny little YouTube channel that I have, because it's teeny tiny, what the hell are you doing to me? What the hell are you doing to me? This book. What did you do to me? This is the second and a half book. Salt in the Wound is the first book, and that's a prequel book. You gotta read Salt in the Wound first, and then Salt Kissed, and then this Honeycut. And this is my favorite one so far in this series. Salt Kiss was okay, but this was astounding to me. I listened to it and I could not stop listening to it. I could not put it down. It just her writing, like someone asked me to explain her writing because they're like, you really love Sierra Simone books. And I was like, absolutely. Let me explain it to you why. Her writing is so vivid and so like, it's like a movie in my head. It's like, I can visually see it, but also her characters are like, they become real people. Like, they're not just characters in a book. They're not just things that like, they come off the page and they become living and they become real and they become these vivid personification. Like when I'm done with the book, I don't want to just put them away on the shelf, if that makes sense. Like I want to know what happens to their grandkids, and I want to know what like Thanksgiving's like at their house, and I want to know if like they're okay when they get the flu. Like that sounds so ridiculous. And I know that I have like mental health disorder. I have ADHD and a little bit of like ADD, and I know these things about myself and I seek a therapist. But like I like her writing, like other authors, like I love their books and I know that they're books. Like a great example of this is I love Katie Roberts books. Like I really, really, really enjoy Katie Roberts books, but I know their books and I know the characters in their books have a beginning, a middle, and an end to their storylines. I cannot stop thinking about the characters in Sierra Simone books. And I've read almost all of Sierra Simone books. I've read like 90% of her backlist. So like there are characters in her universes that like live rent free in my head all the time. Like all the time. I'm constantly thinking about them. Like I'm constantly thinking about my friends. It's weird. It's strange. I can't explain it. It's just how it is. Like Aiden and Elijah are some of those characters. Greer, Embry, and Ash are 100% those characters. Mark and Isolde and Tristan are those characters. Like they live there. They're permanently there. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. The next question on the book list is new release you haven't read yet, but you're looking forward to. This book just came out. I have ordered it on Amazon. It just hasn't gotten here by the time I filmed this video. It's the Kat Singleton book in the Billionaire series. It's Bright Lights and Summer Nights. I'm so excited. I have loved the other books in this series so much. You'll see another one on this list for another character. But I'm super excited to read this series, finish out this series. So excited by it. I ordered it from Amazon. Hopefully it's supposed to be here tomorrow. So fingers crossed, I cannot wait to read it. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. This one doesn't even have a cover yet. I'm so excited. It's the last book in the Windsor series by Katarina Mora. They have been teasing Xavier and Sierra from page 1, book 1, word 2 of this series. And so I cannot wait to find out what happens to Xavier and Sierra. They have to be like the just perfect couple. They're going to be I just know that they're going to be the couple that like completes this series in like the perfect way. And we got little glimpses of them in Lex and Rhea's book, and they kind of seemed badass. So I'm so excited to see the badassery continue in their book. And I really hope they're just badass. I just hope they're just so badass. Like, so excited for this. This comes out August 30th. Biggest surprise of the year. And this is a controversial opinion. So hold on, internet, because I know that this will like shock the interwebs. Biggest surprise for me was that I hated the Agatar book. Yeah, I know. Shocking. I read A Court of Thorns and Roses and I hated it. I almost DNF'd it. The only thing that I found redeemable about it was Farah, and that she was like a pretty strong-willed girl. I have the next book, but I actually don't even have, I have to put the like print here because I gave the first one to Half Price Books because I was like, I only keep books that I like, and I could not get through this book. Like the normal length of a book, like it takes me somewhere between a day and 3 days to get through a book, depending on the length of a book. And if I'm listening to it or whatever, this book took me 7 days to get through because I just kept putting it down because I could not get into it. It was so boring. It was so long. The world development, like, I know it's a controversial opinion, and I know the internet is going to come for me, and this video is going to be like spammed with people being like, you're the worst. I'm an Uber driver, like, and I know that there are a few of us out there that agree with me. Like, I've met like 2 of us. So we shall band together, the 2 of us that feel this way. But like, it was such a big surprise. I expected to like it a lot. And I expected to be like, yes, I'm finally reading Agatar. And then I hated it. So yeah, there's that. That was my biggest surprise. But I did find a new author. So the next question is new favorite author. And that would be Stephanie Garber. And I found her through the Once Upon a Broken Heart books. And I just really have enjoyed her writing. She was a fantasy author because I did not give up on the fantasy genre after Agatar. I went into a different fantasy, and she was a fantasy author that I just really did love and really did enjoy. And her writing was fun and engaging, and her world building was so exciting, and this series was just so fun. And I have decided I'm going to read the Carnivore. That's not right. That's not rated R. She's not a carnivore. She is not a dinosaur or a carnivore. Carnival series I saw my TBR to do here soon. But this series was what hooked me on her as a new author. It goes Once Upon a Broken Heart, The Ballad of Never After, and A Curse of True Love. And I ate all of those books up. I did. I ate them up to the point where like I had them in paperback, and now I have them in hardback because I had to get them in hardback. So there's that. Then the next one is a new book crush. And that's where we go back to Kat Singleton, and we've got Pretty Rings and Broken Things, and you meet Asher Moore. Not Asher, Archer. Why did I say Asher? That is incorrect. I know his name, y'all. I've got ADHD. Oops. Archer Moore. And I loved him. I just finished this book at the beginning of June, and I loved him so much. He was so sweet, and he was so spicy, and he was so all the things. And I was like, I really, really liked him. Actually, he was what made this book for me. And I was like, I think he is maybe a new book boyfriend crush for me. And so when I was thinking about this question, I was like, who's my newest crush? I pulled this one off the shelf because I don't think that these books get enough airtime. These books by Kat Singleton are so good. And if you haven't read her, or if you're looking to like figure out more about Kat Singleton and like you've never heard of her, these books, the Billionaire series books, which the first one is Black Ties and White Lies, and then this is the second one, Pretty Rings and Broken Things. These are both so good. So good. And like I said, I just ordered the third one. It will be here, and I guarantee you it will be on my next list monthly wrap up, and I'll tell you what I think of that. Then we go down to a book that made you cry this year. And really this whole series made me cry, but I had to pick the one that made me cry the most, and it's Magnolia Parks. I gave the entire Magnolia Parks universe 5 stars. That includes the Daisy Hates books, all of the Magnolia Parks, but this wraps up the BJ and Magnolia storylines. I basically bawled my way through this book. I loved everything about BJ and Magnolia, like everything about them. And I hated everything about them. If you know anything about BJ and Magnolia, that you love to hate them and hate to love them, and you're everywhere in between with them. And this book, it's just the most beautiful thing. Jessa Hastings, your writing is fantastic. You are on the same level and have a very similar vein to me as Sierra Simone. Like you don't write the same like spice level or any of that or anything like that, but like you could write my grocery list just like her. I think about your characters. I think about BJ and Magnolia in a very similar way to the ways that I think about some of Sierra Simone's characters, because her writing is just phenomenal as well. Her writing is just so perfect. And the way that she wrote the angst of these characters, oh my gosh. Like, I just cannot get them out of my head. They live there. And they have a place in my heart. Like, and the things that BJ and Magnolia go through, like, I've experienced some of those things, and I'm like heartbroken for them. The things that Magnolia is going through in this book, I've experienced some of that, and I'm like, Magnolia, I can relate to her. We've all experienced death. We've all experienced grief. We've all experienced those things in a tangible way that we can understand. And literally, there are a couple of scenes in this book where I'm like breathing deeply because I'm so like on the edge with. Anyways. If you have not read the Magnolia Parks series, please do. They are a 5-star read for me this year. The entire series, the Magnolia Parks books, the Daisy Hates books, the entire series. I cried through all of them. All of them. I cried at the Daisy Hates books. I cried at the Magnolia Parks books. All of them. But this was the one that had me bawling the most. Then a book that made you happy. And that's the Spanish Love Deception book. Oh my gosh, this book just had me giddy like the whole time. This book was so sweet and so fluffy, and yet it had some good spice in it. I just loved that, like, it's a little like the hating game, but it's not the hating game. He loves her, she doesn't know. I loved the dynamic between them. I loved I listened to this book, which I'm so glad I listened to it, because when you listen to it, you get that Spanish that she speaks, and that she speaks it, and it was mwah. It just was such a good giddy read. And I listened to it on a long car ride with my husband in the car, and he was like, "Hello," and he thought that it was cute, and my husband don't read. So that was fun, and this was such a cute read. Made me giddy, made me happy. There you go. And then the last question on the book tag challenge was books or book that you need to read before the end of the year. And I have started this year, and I need to finish the Never After trilogy or books by Emily McIntyre. I have read Hooked. I have read Scarred. I need to read Twisted. I need to read Crossed. And I need to read, they're stuck together, Wretched. I've had these books. My husband bought them for me for Christmas a while ago, and I've had them sitting on my TBR, and I need to finish them. I need to finish them. So these are the books. My goal is to have all of these read by the end of the year, so that I can have them finished with their others and have them sitting prettily on my shelf with Hooked and Scarred. So those are my thoughts. Those are where I'm at. 2024 has been a weird year for reading for me. I've had some books, like the Magnolia Parks series, 5 stars all the way through. All the Daisy Hates books, all the Magnolia Parks, 5 stars. Love those books. I've had Sierra Simone books, Honeycut and Saint and Sinner, 5 stars. But I just feel like so far this year, it's been kind of like just hovering at the surface of books. I have not had a ton of books. Like last year, I had book after book after book that just broke through that 5-star like barrier for me. I had the Losers series. I had the new Camelot series. I had the Mile High Brothers series. I had the Windsor Brothers series that just like boom, boom, boom. They just broke through the barrier of 5-star for me. And I haven't had that this year. And so I'm really hoping that the second half of this year, I just like dive in, and then like book series after book series and book after book just breaks through. And I have like a second half of this year that just like rocks my world for reading, because I have, like I said, I've read like 60 books this year so far. And if I'm on track to read another 60 books, we're somewhere in the neighborhood of that. Yeah, I hope that it's, because we've just been on the cusp. We've had a lot of like 4.25s, and we've had a lot of 4.4, or we've had 4.25s and a lot of 4s, and we've had like a lot of books that I've just like enjoyed, but I haven't just like, they haven't lived in that like rent-free space in my head forever. And I'm just looking for that like, can't get it out of my head, gotta love it, want it forever vibe, you know? And there are some books that, like the new Camelot series, the Losers series, the Windsor Brothers series, the Mile High Brothers, like that they live there. They live there. And I'm ready. I'm ready for that. So here's to the second half of 2024 being that way. So until next time, friends, bye-bye.